the most beautiful sparkle I have ever seen in my life. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel today. If you're new, welcome to my channel. So today's makeup look. Can't believe those words are actually coming out of my mouth because I have not done a makeup video on my channel in a very long time. But I really wanted to do a how-to office makeup look now that I have switched my job again. But I'm actually now in my career field and I'm in an office. If you work in an office, you know that not a lot of people put on makeup, but some do, and you want to make it look natural, you want it to look appropriate for your atmosphere, but you still want to look and feel good, and you want it to be quick and easy. So that is this entire video. I do mention this later on in the video, but I'm just going to mention it now. This would typically take me 30 minutes or less, but since I'm taking you step by step and talking about the products I'm using, the video is going to be longer. So if I wasn't talking so much during the video, then I'm typically like going like this super fast on my face, just getting the product on so I can head out the door. But if I don't wear makeup, I don't feel like myself. And that's just in general, but especially for the office. Especially if I have a nice outfit, I'm not gonna not wear makeup. I feel like that just would not look right. I'm totally a makeup person, but I have been going for more neutral, natural type of looks just because they're fast and easy. But this is my entire look. I really hope that you guys enjoy this video because this was very fun to film, and I think you guys will enjoy the fact that this is a fast makeup look. Like I said, minus the talking. It's just an overall very pretty, natural, neutral makeup look and can actually go for any sort of occasion. It does not have to be an office, but if you wanted to wear this to an office party, this would be great. If you wanted to wear this going on errands, it would be great. It could literally go for any sort of occasion. It's just a basic makeup look, but it is so pretty and so flattering. And without further ado, let's get right on with the video. Okay, so I have my bag of makeup here that I brought from upstairs. Basically, I've been trying to keep my office makeup very, very quick. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning and I leave by 7:15 to 7:20. Besides doing makeup, I'm obviously getting ready to do other things, and I still want to put on makeup to make myself feel good and look good. Where I work, it's not like everyone is wearing makeup, or maybe they are and it's just very subtle, but I am the type of person that has a lot of makeup and really likes to wear makeup. So when I was offered this job, I also thought about how I could actually wear makeup to work, even though I'd still be waking up in the 6 o'clock range. I would have at least a little bit more time if I put makeup on my face. It's not like I'm getting dirty throughout the day. There are 3 days out of the week that I go to the gym: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday through Thursday, I'll definitely wear pretty much a full face of makeup. And then Fridays, I'll just fill my eyebrows and do mascara. As far as the rest of the week goes, and then the weekend, I'm absolutely wearing makeup. So I have 3 go-to palettes. These have been my go-to palettes for the past few months. They're so easy, so quick, very blendable, and you can just create a look in no time. So the first palette is the ColourPop Wild Nothing palette. It's not going to be in today's tutorial, but I have been using it from time to time for my office makeup, and it is just so pretty. And I've actually used this all year round, even though it has a springtime, summer-like feel to it. I think it is great for all year round. The only shade that I do not recommend is this darker brown shade, because it is so patchy when put onto the eyelid. Everything else that I've tried in here I really truly like, but I have used it for other office days. The other one, this is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership, I don't know that Roman numeral, Midnight Sun. It's a very, very high quality eyeshadow formula and palette. It's very weighted, it feels very luxurious. So the main shade that I use is this topper right here, and it is like no other topper that I have used or seen in my life. It is just so unique, and it always saves my makeup every single time. If I apply another brand of shimmer and I'm just not feeling this, I pop that topper on my lid and it saves my entire look. It is just an amazing shade. I have also been using the ABH Norvina collection. This is Pro Palette number 4. volume 4. This little routine that I have found really works for me, but this entire makeup look will last you through a sweaty workout. So all that I have on my face right now is sunscreen, which is the Dr. Dennis Gross All Physical Lightweight Wrinkle Defense Broad Spectrum Sunscreen SPF 30. This has been a go-to sunscreen for me. It is so lightweight and it soaks into the skin really well. It makes your face look super glowy and healthy, and it feels great on the face. It has been clearing up my skin a lot, which is kind of rare. Not a lot of sunscreens would just clear up your face. It's not a claim that it has, but it has been clearing up my face, which is amazing. So I'm just gonna put on my eye primer. This is the P. Louise base. It is in the shade Rumor 2. This makeup look typically takes me about 30 minutes or less, but since I'll be talking about the steps I take and just talking you through every product, it's going to be a little bit longer. But typically I'm like doing this really quickly on my face, just rushing and doing it as fast as I can. So I'll take a little bit right here and I just tap that on my eyelid, and same thing on the other eye. And I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows a little bit. I kind of go back and forth with my eyebrows. This is the Benefit Cosmetics Gimme Brow Plush Gel. It's a fiber gel. It's in shade number 3. And I start in the middle of my brows and just comb through like you would a regular spoolie. My eyebrows are a lot lighter in tone up in the front, and they also don't grow right to the spot of where your eyebrow would normally start. I kind of have to do a little bit more work with my eyebrows. Also very light in the tail ends of my brows, but I can still get them to look how I want to look. So once I've run through my brows a couple of times, I then have less product on my spoolie. So that is when I'll start combing through front of my brow. That way chunks of product aren't going in the front and it looks a little wonky. I'm not done with them, so we'll finish those later. And now we're going to move on to the eyeshadow. So this was either a sample that I got using my points at Sephora, or I got it in my Ulta gratis at one point. But this is the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Color in Metallic Taupe. So this the entire product just flew out of this tube. Oh my god. Here it is. I'm gonna put you back in there. Oh boy. I've only used this like a few times. Even though it's so pretty, I typically wouldn't go for this kind of shade if I'm putting it on the majority of my lid, because for some reason these light shades just really wash me out. Whether I am pale, whether I am tan, it does not matter what my skin shade is. It just washes me out and it doesn't really look that great on me. So I use this as a base, but I use it because these are known to not smudge or budge throughout the entire day. That would be great, because when I was using some of the ABH Norvina collection shadows, the shadows were creasing on me within a few hours and I wasn't even touching my eye. On a normal day, it wouldn't ever do that. So I don't know what it is, but on an office day, that doesn't work for me. So I'm just going to basically draw this on my eye. Pretty much just do that on the entire eyelid. I've been trying to figure out a way if it's better to draw on the product this way or this way. Whatever won't give me many wrinkles. Let me know in the comments. But it's super easy to draw on because it is so pigmented. So you can definitely see a difference between the both eyelids. And honestly, you could just do this, put on some mascara and be on your way. But the techniques that I've learned for eyeshadow for my eye shape and just overall how it looks on my face, I have to add something in the outer corner, and it has to be pretty dark because it just gives my face and my eyelids a little bit more dimension and depth. You can also apply this with your finger, and you can even blend it out with your finger, tap it on, whatever you choose. Then this is where I'll go into the darker shade from the Pat McGrath Labs palette. This is the Sephora Pro Shader number 18 brush, teeny tiny. If you are an OG, you would know that I've been using this since college. So I just tap a little bit in there, and then I'm just gonna be pressing this on my outer corner. And this is also really nice for the crease. It is so small and it's just the perfect shape. You get right in there if you want more of a defined crease. Yes, I really like that. This is the Bling Brushes Starry Nights collection number E11. I don't have a code with them, but they were recommended, not to me personally, but I do watch Miss Paige Corin here on YouTube. She's one of my favorites to watch. She actually has her own collection. This isn't it, but she is obsessed with the Bling brushes and she got me hooked on them. That's basically all I use for eyeshadow if I'm not doing this technique. These brushes are amazing, so since I don't have a code, I'd recommend using her code, which is Paige, for 10% off. Even though it looks pretty diffused, I just want to show you what else it can do. I am basically blending in my upper crease a little bit. If I almost wanted it to appear like I did put in a crease color and I did put in more work, then I would just kind of bring that color a little bit up into my upper crease. And so it almost creates like a little bit more of a shadow right there. Very diffused. I'm just going to apply a little bit more in this outer corner. As I mentioned, how the darker the outer corner for me, the better. Okay, looks great. And I'm gonna do that on my other eye. So then we're gonna go into the topper shade, which is just beyond beautiful. Like, where was this all my life? I'm gonna take my ring finger. You can see just how nice that is. That was just one swatch. The camera doesn't even do it justice, but on camera it looks pretty nice. And just swatching in general does definitely not do it justice. But here we're going to put it on the inner third of my eyelid, and we're going to tap that on, and oh my gosh, it just delivers the most beautiful sparkle I have ever seen in my life. Sometimes I'll even take my index finger and just to get a little bit more product on and kind of get it in some more crevices of my eyelid. That's how I can get a majority of the product on without like sitting there tapping forever. But I'll use my ring finger to make sure that it blends pretty evenly into the other shades. Truth be told, I haven't seen anyone at my office wear full-blown eyeshadow and or sparkly eyeshadow like I do, but it makes me feel like myself. So with the two tones here, you get a little bit of cool, a little bit of neutral, slightly warm from that metallic taupe shade, and that is how I do my eyeshadow. Then we're gonna go into mascara. Even though I've been raving about the Lily Lashes eyelash killer, which is this one. This is my older one. I don't know if it's my lashes. I think it could be. That could be a factor. But for some reason, even though I bought a new one, it has not been curling my eyelashes the same way. They fall flat. I don't get it, but I do have a Chanel one that is a little bit stronger as far as pumping. That really makes my eyelashes curl. So I'm going to curl my lashes and I'll be right back. I've been bouncing back and forth between a few different mascaras because with my lash situation, I was not sure what was making my eyelashes look so droopy. I'm testing out right now the Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. I have a little sample size that I recently bought at Sephora with my points, and I've never tried it, and I know it's wildly popular. I'm going to use my little Ulta Beauty mascara tool here so I don't get any transfer, because that has also been an issue lately. Yep, the Chanel eyelash killer did a much better job at curling my lashes, and hopefully they actually hold the curl. That would be great. Oh my gosh, so voluminous. But it does also a really great job at separating the lashes. I do have some lashes that are in the process of growing, so I got some different lengths going on here, but that looks the best it has in maybe a month. I feel like me now. Oh, this feels amazing. I am just going to go in with my base makeup. The product that I've been using is the Origins Ginseng SPF 40 Energy Boosting Tinted Moisturizer Broad Spectrum SPF 40, and it's a sheer tint release. Every single time you squeeze the product out, it's going to be the exact same color, but it does kind of blend in with whatever skin tone you may have. This can go across all different types of skin tones. It has chemical and physical sunscreen here. I'm really not a big fan of chemical sunscreens. I avoid it at all costs if I can. It has more chemical sunscreen here than it does physical, but as long as it has physical, I'm okay with. I actually wasn't sure if I was even going to return this product because even though my skin is a little bit more tan than it normally is versus the winter time, it was still making my skin appear a little bit on the orange side. Now, it wasn't Oompa Loompa level, but you could definitely see a difference between my face and my neck. And I was like, oh god, I don't want to be orange going to work. So we'll see if it does that today or not. I don't know. It still looks a little bit deeper than my neck color, but in general, your neck color is lighter than your face. This does have so many ingredients in it you would not believe, but I'm still testing it out. I do have to use a lot, but it does end up covering my entire face, so I guess that's fine. This is the actual product, and then I was reading off of also the Unicarton here. It is a smaller tube. Well, actually, maybe it's about the typical size of a tinted moisturizer. And then on the back of my hand, you can see how tall that goes. It's a lot of product. So it's not super runny, slightly whipped. It's really nice. And it does have licorice root extract in here, so I can definitely smell a licorice. And I don't like licorice, but it goes away very fast, and I can absolutely smell the ginseng in here. Is that a white hair? Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. You can literally see it from there. And then there is still going to be a decent amount left on my hand, but I'm just going to leave it in there, and I'm not going to rub it in because I will most likely need it for my forehead, or if I want to just layer on a little bit on a redness area, then you want to keep the rest of the product. My IT brushes for Ulta, Airbrush Complexion Perfection number 115. I find that this brush works really well with this tinted moisturizer, so I'll be stamping it in with that one. Okay, so my forehead looks pretty good. It looks very even. I am going to use the rest a little bit near my nose. I did have a much more pigmented red sunburned nose in the beginning of this week, and this actually covered it very well. You could still see the redness peeking through, but it wasn't nearly as bright as it was if I didn't have this on. Then I'm going to take whatever is left on my hand, rub it in with my brush, and put it where I feel like it needs it the most. But as I'm talking, this area is just going to get more red as my face moves. We're going to go into concealer. Now, I can definitely do this look with or without concealer. It just depends on what I'm feeling. Recently, I've been going without concealer, but for the sake of the video, I will do it with concealer. Ooh, that's nice lighting if I turn my mirror up that way. The concealer that I'll be using and have been using, the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. Looks like a little pencil, and it is a self-setting concealer, so you do not need to set it with a powder, which is amazing because then that subtracts one step from my routine. But I find that this concealer formula works better for me in the summer, so I don't ever use it in the winter. It just doesn't work with my skin during that time, but for the summer, it's a really great consistency. And then I use the L'Oreal Infallible Pink Sponge. I wet it and it's already damp and massive. And then I'll just be bouncing that into the skin. While that is setting in place, then I will start to put on my Fenty bronzer. It's in the shade Into Sun. It's also the lightest shade in the collection. It is my summer bronzer. And then I'll be using my Too Faced Mr. Right bronzer, blush, powder brush, you name it. It's an all-in-one. I'll swirl that around in the pan, and then I'll flip my hair over and I'll apply bronzer like so. Feeling just slightly tacky because I'm kind of going over the area where I just blended in my concealer. That is pretty much the amount that I would put on. And then I'll put on my highlighter, shade of blush that I put on. If I put on my highlighter right after, and it could be the shade of the highlighter that I use, it tends to look very gray when I'm moving side to side, so to avoid that grayness, I put on my highlighter before my blush. BK Beauty 201, pretty sure it's intended for eyeshadow. but I use it for highlighter and it works perfectly fine. My go-to highlighter for the past year, yeah, definitely a year at this point. It's the Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in Ozone, the lightest shade in the collection. Swish my brush in there, and oh, I still have to do my brows. And I put it right at the top of my cheekbone, and you can definitely see that. You can build this up to where it is blinding on your cheekbone, but you can also make this look as subtle as you need it to. So sometimes I go really subtle, most of the time I don't. I need more of a blinding highlight, because if I don't use one, then my face tends to look pretty flat. I tend to build up on the highlight a lot. Seeing me with a subtle highlight is pretty rare. And then I also take it up kind of like a C right there, so it looks a little bit more natural and it's not just a stripe. Even if it blends in really well, it's not just going towards your head. This is a discontinued brush from the IT Cosmetics It Brushes for Ulta line, but it is from their Heavenly Luxe collection. It is the French Boutique Blush brush. What a tongue twister. I think they still make Heavenly Luxe brushes, but more so for foundation. But they do have other blush brushes in their entire It Brushes for Ulta collection. So whatever you can find, highly recommend buying one of their blush brushes because they're so soft. And this puffs out really wide, diffuses it into the skin really nice, and it's not very dense, it's not harsh, it's not dense at all actually, it's just very fluffy and soft, and I really like the way that it applies my blush. I use two blushes. I start off with the Tarte Expose blush. This is my go-to blush for all year round. This is a mini size. They have a much bigger size with a bigger pan, and I'm just gonna sweep that towards my ear. You can even just see how nice it glides onto the face. And I have used very soft brushes for blush that tend to be almost too soft to where it doesn't even disperse the product, but this disperses the product very nicely. Now, a new technique that I've been using to also bring more life to the face besides using a bronzer, it's not a new technique, but it is just to slightly bring that blush over your bronzer, and it just makes all the difference. I'm basically just going to turn this around, get some more product on the tip, and just kind of sweep it kind of fast because it can get a little heavy too quick. Just sweep that over the areas I put bronzer. I don't know how well it's going to show up in this lighting. It does make a slight difference and it looks really nice. And I even put some underneath my chin, even though I'm red on the chin, but if you do it underneath. Same with bronzer, it just makes a little bit of a difference. So then I top it off this duo right here. So I have used this blush on its own, but even when I was more pale, it would show up, but I would always have to go in with another blush to layer on top of it to actually make all of it show up on my face and not make me look washed out. So I just now use this as a blush topper. So it is a very different tone than the Tarte one, but adding this on top does make all the difference. I know it's not also a new technique, but a lot of people do layer blushes on top of each other just to create like their own personal shade to go with their skin tone. So I find that this adds just a touch more pigment, and it's not a lot. You can build it up for certain. It just makes a really nice difference. Do the same thing. This is going to be a little bit more pigmented, hopefully that you can actually see it. Just quickly brush that along my hairline. I've been using this little mini for almost 4 years. It just keeps going, but I have a feeling it's going to end soon because it's pretty much down to the nub. But this is the Benefit Cosmetics Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and it's in the shade number 3. I am shade number 3 in all the Benefit products. Well, Benefit brow products. Just like the Fibogel, I'm going to start in the middle, draw some light strokes. Comb through really lightly. So that was a spoolie at the end of the Benefit Cosmetics Precisely My Brow Pencil. Once again, shade number 3. And this is a teeny tiny little pencil, but it is retractable. That's the best part. And so I basically just go in really lightly, kind of do like circles, so I'm not just going like straight up and down. So I try to not achieve that super pointy brow. So I basically have to go in between the look of like very slightly defined and not feathery. That does not look good on me, but just a little bit more on the natural side. So my brows typically will take me a little bit longer. Have been faster about them in the morning, but as I'm filming, it's just taking a little bit longer. I think that's as good as they're going to get. I will go in with my Pacifica Highest Def Hemp Fiber Brow Setting Gel in clear. So it almost looks like the Benefit one where it has a teeny tiny little spoolie. And then I'll run that through my brows. As far as whether I'm working out or not, the current setting sprays I have are not lasting on my face because I'll touch my face at work and then I realize that there's makeup on my hand. So that's not good. I kind of combine two different setting sprays, as these are the two that my mom is letting me try. One is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Party all night, stay all day. What's funny, this does have a fragrance to it, and I just returned a product that had the exact same fragrance because even though the fragrance smells good, it was just a little bit too strong. So then it's like I return a product because of the smell, and my mom gives me a product that is the exact same smell that I was trying to get away from. But this does do a great job of making my makeup actually stay in place. So that is what I'll be using as the first setting spray, including these setting sprays. This entire makeup routine has lasted on my face for 12 plus hours. Like I said, even with a sweaty workout. I've been finding that I've been layering different setting sprays based on their different needs and my needs. So this is the Ilia Blue Light Filter Protect and Set Mist. I will not use this on its own because when I do, and even kind of on top of this, it makes my face feel a little bit tight. I don't know if there is alcohol in this or not. The reason why I just have it on top of other setting sprays is because it protects your face from blue light, and I don't think the Charlotte Tilbury one protects your face from blue light. This also has a scent too. It's a little bit lighter, like a slight floral scent, which I do not normally go for. This is more like a floral scent, but that one's fine. This one's fine. The spray on here is a little wonky. This one also maybe has lavender in it, I'm assuming. But even from far away, you can tell my makeup looks really good. This is a close-up of the face. Oh, I forgot my lip gloss. A little bit of product on my lips, but this is the Dior Stellar Gloss in Princess number 553. It is so pretty. Once I got this lip gloss, I felt like I was on top of the world. I've never owned a Dior lip gloss before. It is so fancy, right up my alley. It has a very different doe foot applicator, just a little bit chubbier, but then it also has a divot. I see why, because it does fit perfectly on my lips. It has a really nice light vanilla flavor and scent. It smells so good. And that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos on beauty and health, and click that notification bell for whenever I do upload so you will be notified right on your phone. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye!